Hey guys, welcome to my new series, Devops for Starters. This series is targeted to people who want to know what DevOps really is. This series goes through 3 sections. What is DevOps? Components in a DevOps, and finally, tooling technologies in a DevOps framework. So let's dive in. Every IT engineer or someone in your team might have talked about this buzzword, DevOps. What does this really mean? DevOps really means development plus operations in a nutshell. I like to break it down this way for simplicity purposes. Development means the application itself, and operations means the individual components that help automate, sustain the application. Let's look at a basic developer QA collaboration scenario of an application lifecycle before DevOps. The developer first codes the application. Second, deploys the code manually to the dev server. Third, runs unit test or some sort of testing. And once the developer is confident that his code works, he or she deploys it to the QA server. 4. QA starts testing the application. 5. QA informs the developer that the application passed all test cases. Finally, the developer deploys the code manually to production. Let's look at a life cycle of an application after DevOps. Implementing DevOps frameworks cuts the need for human intervention and automates the process. First, developer codes the application. Second, the continuous integration and continuous delivery framework deploys the code in an automated fashion. Third, unit tests are run on the application, and once the application passed all the unit tests, the code is deployed to QA server without a developer having to deploy the code manually. 4. QA tests the application. 5. Test pass, CI/CD is informed, which is continuous integration and continuous delivery framework. Finally, code is deployed to production in an automated fashion. Monitoring and communication are shown as cross-cutting concerns because each DevOps prefers configuring them according to their workflow or business needs. In this example, let's say the developer wants to email the QA engineer to start testing, that once his/her unit tests pass, the developer builds a script to email the QA engineer once unit tests are passed. This is where the communication component in DevOps is useful. Similarly, let's say the developer wants an email to be triggered every time database runs out of space. This is where the monitoring and communication component becomes useful. We will look at these components in the next slide and how the 3 are entwined. The key areas in a DevOps architecture are communication, monitoring, and continuous integration, continuous delivery. The 3 are intertwined and closely depends on each other to truly perform a DevOps framework. For example, let's say a developer wants to email himself whenever a database runs out of space. The developer develops a script that will inform whenever database runs out of space, so that immediate action can be taken. The developer uses CI/CD to deploy the script to the server, and then the script starts to monitor the database. And when the database runs out of space, it will send an email to the developer. This is just one example of how a business would use a DevOps workflow. What I'm trying to show here is how these 3 key components collaborate to create a DevOps workflow. In our next video, let's take each component and discuss how they revolve in a DevOps framework. But please don't forget to share, subscribe, and like this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. Thank you.